You have to be able to use what's given to you. And we are unfortunately given way more negative than we are positive. So how are you going to use it? Are you going to use it by letting it, getting shy and sitting in the basement and, saying, man, I'm not ready to play this game? Or are you going to use it like, hey, you, I deserve this. I'm going to show you and I'm going to prove you wrong. And then in 5-10 years, you're going to walk in the room and all those people that doubted you, all those people that said negative to you, all those people that made jokes to you, all those people that rolled their eyes at you, they're all going to tell you how proud they are. I always believed in you. Yeah, I remember, and you'll remember too, every single person that ever said negative things to me. I remember all of them, and I remember the exact moment when they came back around and they said, oh, I'm so proud of you. And you know what's funny? By the time they come back around and say they're proud of you, you don't even need the validation anymore because you already know. And that's the most powerful thing that you can have, your own belief in yourself, proving yourself right, proving that you do have what it takes, and nobody could take that from you once you've built that. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to motherfucking reality. Guys, today we have Q&AF. That's where you submit the questions, and we give you the answers. You could submit those questions to be answered on the show a few different ways. The first way is,
guys, email these questions into askandy@andyfrisella.com.
or you go on YouTube in the comment section of the Q&AF episodes, drop your question in the comments. We'll choose some from there as well. Now, throughout the week, we're going to have shows within the show. We're going to have CTI tomorrow. That stands for Cruise the Internet. That's where we put topics of the day up on the screen. We speculate on what's true, on what's not true, and then we talk about how we, the people, got to solve these problems going on in the world. Other times, we're going to have Real Talk. Real Talk is just 5 to 20 minutes of me giving you some real talk. And then we have 75 Hard Verses. That's where someone who has completed the 75 Hard program comes on the show, talks about how they use the 75 Hard program to recalibrate their mental and get their life in order. All right? They talk about how they were before, how they are now, and how you could do the same. Now, if you're unfamiliar with 75 Hard, it is the initial phase of the Live Hard program. Live Hard is the world's most famous, most popular mental transformation program in history, okay? And it's free. You can get it at episode 208. There's also a book about it called The Book on Mental Toughness, which includes the entire Live Hard program, plus a bunch of chapters on mental toughness, why it's important, how you can use it to build your life, along with a number of case studies of very famous people who use mental toughness to become who they are. Again, that's episode 208 on the audio feed, and you can get that book at andyfrisella.com. Now, we do things a little bit different here. You're not going to hear a million ads for shit that I don't even use. You're not going to do that. I don't take money from advertisers. I'm the biggest show in the world that doesn't. The reason I don't is because I don't want to listen to people complain about what I can and can't say. The show's called Real AF. We keep it real, and everybody's got a problem with something that we say. That's what keeping it real does, all right? So we don't run ads, and I make this little trade with you. You know, we're constantly dealing with censorship, throttling, traffic bans, all this BS. I need you to help us grow the show, all right? If you don't help us share the show doesn't get out there because of these things, all right? So the show makes you think. If it makes you laugh, it gives you new perspective. If it's something that you think needs to be heard, which these things need to be heard now more than ever, do us a solid and help us grow the show. Don't be a hoe.
Show.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Nothing, dude. What's up?
Oh, not much. So I'm curious because before the camera started rolling, we were talking about things that were created from the previous generation.
From Joe and I's generation, where we made up all the funny jokes, and you guys think that they're brand new.
What other things were created that we believe is brand new now?
Pretty much everything cool. Isn't that right, Joe? Everything cool. People our age invented, and you guys think that you've invented it. Like, you're all running around with these trucker hats on and shit. We were doing that in 2000, bro. Y'all run around, saying all these funny ass terms like moose knuckle. And you think you made it up. We made it up. Isn't that right, Joe? You guys are telling jokes in here. You don't even know where the jokes came from. No, for real, guys. All these, we sit in here every day. I just keep it real. Yeah. We sit in here every day and we talk all this shit, And these dudes think that they're so witty, and me and Joe are just always looking at each other like, yeah, we heard that in like second grade, dude. Yeah.
It's a full circle, man. Things, there's an evolution, but like it always comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it goes away.
All the fashions, dude, all the fashions that are out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Thing, bro.
I was going to say the one thing you guys came up with was cutting your own dicks off.
That's the only unique thing we got.
Yeah. Your generation came out with that. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
Bro, we might, like, some people might have dressed up as goth. Some people might have, I don't know, about tucking or whatever. I don't know. Some people might have done some weird shit, but they sure as hell were not cutting off their wieners.
Yeah,
wasn't happening.
I get it.
Was it? I never heard of it. I'm just saying, be offended. I don't care. Leave it in the show. It's the truth.
It is the truth.
You guys come up with some weird ass shit. Me and Joe, our people, we came up with the best stuff.
Yeah. The craziest thing I think is the clothes and stuff, like Champion, like the brand
Champion was
but like when I was growing up, bro, it was like, oh, you're wearing Champion.
Yeah.
And now that shit's like hundreds of dollars for a jacket or something. I'm like, bro.
Well, there's lots of brands like that. Brands come and go. I bet the next brand that comes out, bro, that hits hard is going to be Starter again. When we were kids, Umbro, starter jackets, like that. Listen,
K-Swiss.
You want to get ahead of the trends? I don't know. K-Swiss, I don't know.
I had K-Swiss. You never had some K-Swiss? Really?
Nah. I actually had a proposed deal for them like 5-6 years ago to do some advertising. But I don't wear them. I've never had a pair.
I had Shaqs.
What's Shaqs?
Oh, that's a struggle, bro.
No, I don't play basketball.
So Jordans?
Yeah.
Right? Shaq is just like crossing. Like it's like the logo is like.
Oh, okay.
It's Shaq's shoes. Like Shaquille O'Neal's shoes. Which.
You talk about an entrepreneur, dude.
I mean, a great fucking business.
Oh, man.
Helping millions of fucking people. It's actually a really, really great cause. But yeah, I mean, I had those growing up. I thought,
Shaqs.
Yep.
I had Reebok pumps before Reebok pumps. I saw one of the guys in here wearing pumps. We had that.
It's so wild to see just like the evolution of shit.
Bro, there's only so much stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you guys had to get weird with the wiener cutting. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take it to the extreme. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah. I'm gonna cut my wiener off.
Trendsetters. That's what they are. Yeah, trendsetters. Sweet, man. Well, let's make some people better today. I got 3 good ones for you.
I'm getting yelled at for this. I don't care.
It's all right.
Yeah,
it's all good, man. Let's get into these questions, man. Guys, Andy, question number 1. Hey guys, I love the show.
Thank you.
I've been listening for about a year now, and I find it to be the most motivating part of my day. You're welcome. What if he's a trendsetter? I have owned and operated a blue-collar service industry business for about 5 years now, and went full-time with it a little over 2 years ago as part-time effort equals part-time results. We have some local competition, but overall, we have dominated the area we operate in. As the business grows, we have run a few of our competitors off as they couldn't keep up. Obviously, a certain amount of competition is healthy, but my question to you is this. Where do we draw the line on growing our business or limiting ourselves in order to keep a certain amount of competition alive or active around us? We don't want, nor can we handle every job that comes across the table, so having others around to kick those jobs too is convenient. Keep up the great work. You guys are always the best part of the day.
Listen,
this is an interesting question.
No, not really. It's not your concern what the competition does. Your job is to be better than them, and if they can't cut it and they can't keep up, then natural order removes them from the equation. Business is hard enough as it is for you without worrying about competitors, without worrying about what's going on with these guys or those guys. And in my experience, everybody that I've ever met that I've done business with or against who's overly concerned with the competition from other companies ends up losing, because just like that famous meme where you have Michael Phelps swimming in the pool and the guy next to him and it says, winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. It's the truth. And
because the guy was like looking at Michael Phelps mid-stroke. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, it's okay and smart to evaluate what your competition is doing, to learn from them, to watch where they make mistakes, and to, evaluate their products and try to be better. That is all a natural part of business. But to concern yourself with the health of someone else's company is wasted energy. You should be concerned about the health of your company, the quality of your products, how you're servicing the customers, the relationships you are building, and everything else will take care of itself. And if you have a competitor who falls by the wayside and ends up having to go away, another one will replace them before too long. So you have to understand there's always going to be people that you compete with. There's always going to be people in business that are coming and going. And if you're an established company or an established brand, in the beginning phases of business, you're going to see this a lot because a lot of people start businesses and not very many people finish businesses. A lot of people come in and say, oh, we're going to do all these great things. And then when things get hard, they go away. So the typical life cycle of a small business, from my experience, is, 1 to 3 or 4 years, and they get tired and they go do something else. Remember, we talk about this a lot. Entrepreneurship is overglorified. There's a lot of people in entrepreneurship that shouldn't be entrepreneurs. They have zero capacity to think critically, to think ahead, to be patient, or to keep their calm when things go bad, which is really the main role of an operator in business. Your role is a fireman. You're putting out fires. And when you're not putting out fires, you should be worried about the things I just mentioned: quality of your product, service, customer relationships, how you're going to operate. And if you're over here looking at these guys, you're going to do that less effectively. And by the way, I'd like to point this out too. You guys have to put a lot of thought into how you're going to be uniquely different and how you're going to be uniquely servicing the customer, because the reality is a lot of people start businesses and they think they're going to be as good as someone else and then successful in business. That doesn't work. All right. For you to be successful in business, you have to have some sort of proposition or advantage that is unique and that allows you to stand out amongst your competition. So if you just copy someone who's doing something that you think they're doing well, and you don't take it past that point and become better, they've already got the market for that. There's no reason for a consumer to switch from this to that when they are satisfied with this. Okay. So, and then another thing that you need to be very concerned about as a young entrepreneur is copying these companies. Okay. There's a lag time that happens between the initial idea or thought or strategy and seeing it in reality for any business, right? If we're going to come up with a new product, that product that comes out today that you're trying to copy was spoken about 2 years ago. If you're copying people for the result that they have today or the product they have today, you're actually copying ideas that were first spoken about 2 years ago. And if that's your business strategy and you can't think ahead and you can't think on your own, you're always going to be automatically 1 to 2 years behind your competition. Yeah. So you have to be able to think ahead. You have to be able to think for yourself. You have to be able to take influence from other people and learn lessons from other people without being dependent on just watching what they do and doing the same thing. And that's where we see a lot of people get in trouble. I know that wasn't the question, but it's worth throwing in there.
Oh, for sure.
So if I was you, I would worry far less about, you're doing so good, I got to have these people around to refer them to. And I would worry a little bit more about being able to take on all the business. Yeah. Why don't you scale out your business so you can handle all the leads coming to you? That would be the smart thing to do. The not smart thing to do is to worry about what this other guy's doing and keeping him around when he's trying to take dinner off your fucking table, bro. So
let's talk about that a little bit more too, man. Just like, I don't know if like what you would call it. Is it like forced growth or just these opportunities that come by? Like, I mean, you've had this multiple times in your experience where, like, with S2, for example, how you went from 2 stores to fucking 6.
Yeah, in one day.
In one day. You know what I'm saying? So like these opportunities of, growth. How do you have, like, I mean, is it something you have to be aggressive about, whether you think you're ready for it or not? Like, how do you process that?
There's a famous meme where there's this guy, he's standing on the cliff, and it shows him jump off the cliff, and on way down from the cliff, he builds like a little hang glider, and then at the very end, when he gets to the bottom, he like swoops up and survives. That's entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is about figuring it the fuck out. It is not about having this perfect plan. This is where a lot of people get mistaken when it comes to their business. You guys think that you could plan out, and everything is going to go according to plan. That's not the case. It's like Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. And that's what entrepreneurship's about. You can have a loose framework. You can have a detailed plan, but I can promise you those plans and that framework are never going to go the way that you want them to go. So spending too much time making sure that things go according to plan is going to take away your energy from solving the real problems, because you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be angry. You're going to be pissed that things aren't going the way. And a lot of people will get overly angry and overly frustrated and think that it's just them, when in reality, that's the game you're playing. Like, you're playing a hard game. And this is why I have such a problem with the culture of entrepreneurship on the internet. It is not buy a course and become rich, dude. Like, this game is way too competitive. And anybody who tells you different, they haven't run a real business. They're making money by selling you a plan that doesn't even really fucking work. That's where they make their money, okay? Business is hard. It's hard as fuck. And you have to understand that it is going to take every ounce of commitment and brain power and skill, and then skill development and energy, everything. It takes that to be competitive in business. To even be competitive, it takes all that. And a lot of people think that they can just put a sign on something or open up a store and, they're going to be able to compete while they're out on the beach, drinking a Corona. That's just not how it works, man. And there's a very drastic difference between the way entrepreneurship is presented online and the way it really is. And it sucks because there's a lot of people who are really, really, really skilled and have tons of potential to be successful that believe this path of easiness. And then the minute that it gets hard, they think it's them. Right. They think it's them that messed up. They think it's just, man, I'm not cut out for this. No, there's a lot of people that aren't cut out for this, but you happen to be someone who believes in something that doesn't even exist. So you have to be prepared for the actual reality of being an entrepreneur. And one of the best ways to prepare that is to prepare your mind, listen to people who have been down the path for real, prepare yourself mentally to handle the ups and downs and uncertainties and impatience and all these things, and understand that that's the game you signed up for. The game you think you signed up for is, make $1 gazillion in 2 weeks and live on the beach. That's not the game. I don't know a single person like that. I don't know a single fucking person like that. The only people that have ever done that, in my experience, have sold people bullshit, made a bunch of money in a relatively short amount of time, and then they go away as fast as they came. So you signed up for a hard game. It's the most competitive game in the world. And if you don't play it with everything you got, you're going to lose.
I love it, man. I love it. Guys, Andy, question number 2. Hey, Andy, I am a 19-year-old entrepreneur who just started his marketing firm 4 months ago. Considering the fact that I still have no clients and been relentlessly cold advertising for 3 months, I feel stuck in this loop of self-doubt. I don't know if it's imposter syndrome. I know I will achieve the big goals I set for myself. I want to do big shit, and I've always been competitive and ready for the hard, long path of entrepreneurship. But sometimes doubt is a demon that comes into play that I need to overcome. So my question is this. When you started your entrepreneurial journey at 19, did you overthink sometimes? And how can we get out of that vicious loop when it starts to kick in? Thank you. Thanks to you, DJ Madat and the Real AF crew. Love from Canada.
Okay. Of course, if you've never done anything before, you're going to have doubts about your ability to do it. That's just natural, right? If I go to jiu-jitsu practice with Madat, I've never been, I'm going to be, fuck, dude, I don't, can I do this? Like, how good am I going to be? Am I going to make a fool of myself? These are natural thoughts that anybody has when they try anything new, okay? Whether it's playing the guitar, whether it's riding a bicycle, whether it's swimming, whether it's anything new, it doesn't matter. People are going to have doubts when you haven't built the confidence needed to know that you can do the thing. Now, did I do that? Yeah. Do I do that now? Yes. You guys think that like I got it all figured out, bro. Look, I'm competing on the level now of big. Like I've never competed at that level. Just like you guys have never built a business. I've done all the things you want to do, but now I haven't done those things. So do I have doubts? Of course I do. Do I let it stop me? Absolutely not. I get up every single day. I give it the best effort I can. I learn the lessons as I go down the path when I make mistakes, and I get better, which is the exact game plan I tell you guys to run. Go out, try as hard as you can. You're going to get punched in the face. Take your punch, learn your lesson, move forward again, get punched in the face again, move forward, learn your lesson. That is how this game is played. And so it sort of goes back to the question that I just answered. A lot of you guys think you're going to make this plan. It's just going to go the way you want it to. That's not the game, dude. You have to be mentally tough. You have to be resilient. You have to be able to get up when the world punches you and knocks you the fuck down. That is the game. And you have to then be intelligent enough to learn the lessons that this setback or that, failure, so to speak, is trying to teach you. And if you have the capacity to continue to move forward, if you've built yourself into someone who can handle the punches, who can handle the setbacks, and then also someone who's intelligent enough to learn the lessons that are meant to be learned, you cannot be stopped. But most people, they think it's smooth. They think it's like showing up to a 9-to-5, dude. It ain't like that. It's all consuming. It's everything you have. And if you're not mentally tough, if you haven't taken the path of building yourself into someone with grit, mental toughness, perseverance, endurance, the self-belief, all of these things, by the way, which you could create living the Live Hard program, which you get for free at episode 208, these things will build you into the kind of person that you need to become to weather that path. All right. So yes, everybody has doubt. Yes, people are lying to you about not having doubt, okay? We don't know if things are going to work out. How do we know? The only thing we know is that we go, we get a setback, we learn the lesson, and we keep moving. And that is the game, dude. I don't know how to say this any other way. Like, there's no easy way. There's no pain-free way. There's no way that's going to be smooth. It's hard. It's the fucking hardest thing you're ever going to do, man. So like understand, yeah, you're going to doubt, but the minute that you go out and you start signing up some clients, you're going to have less doubt. You're going to say, dude, I signed up my first client. How about that? You've been doing this 4 months. You haven't signed up a single fucking client? What are you doing? I would bet that you've been sitting there wondering when these clients are going to fall out of the sky, and you're probably making all these plans and, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, I need to get ready over here first, instead of just going. Go sign up some people and you're going to have less doubt because you're going to see that it's easier. And I'll leave you with this last thing. There's a very famous movie called The Edge. And if you haven't seen it, it's one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion. It has Anthony Hopkins, who's a rich billionaire, and they crash a plane and they have to survive. He says a very profound quote in the movie. And he says this to his team. There's 3 of them or 4 of them, and they're all like freaking the fuck out because they're going to die. These are all wealthy city people, and they're in the middle of the wilderness. He says, hey, what one man can do, another can do. And that is the truth. If you look around and you see all these people building these marketing agencies, there is zero reason that you can't do the same. We see all these people climb Mount Everest. You can do the same. We see all these people run marathons. You can do the same. We see all these people build amazing companies. You could do the same. What's possible for one human is possible for another human. Now, are there limitations to that? Can I go out and 360 dunk a basketball like LeBron James? No. There are definitely things that limit you, but they're not limiting you. Okay, we're talking about business. We're talking about entrepreneurship. If you are willing to make the commitment and you are willing to give what it takes and you are willing to take the punches and you are intelligent enough to learn the lessons, to move forward with those lessons and apply them the next time, You cannot lose. You can't lose. All right. But sitting there and saying, oh man, I have all this self-doubt, I don't know what to do, that is automatic loss. What you have to do is take action. What you have to do is go sign some people up. And when you sign people up, you're going to be like, yeah, I signed some people up. And the very next thought that you have should be, okay, how could I have signed them up better? How could I have handled this better? Yes, I scored the goal, but how could I have done it better? Okay. And that self-assessment process of analyzing even the wins, not just the losses, even the wins, is what makes you gain the most amount of skill in the shortest amount of time, which makes you formidable. All right. So not only should you be sitting there saying, man, they said no to me. Why'd they say no to me? When they say yes, you should say, why'd they say yes? And how could I have gotten to that yes easier? All right. And if you adapt and adopt this thinking, you can't lose, bro. You just can't.
And let me ask you this, because, I think this is another a piece of this, man. It's like, I've always thought of you as somebody who is very honest. You're honest with others. You're honest with yourself, especially, right? And I think this is something else that a lot of people miss, man. It's like the ability to be honest about the work that you're actually doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have to imagine, like, I wish I would have met Andy at 19. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure, I'm willing to bet that there was a few conversations that you had with yourself or with Chris, maybe in public, private, whatever. But it's like, am I actually putting in the work that I'm supposed to be doing to get where I'm saying I want to go?
Let me tell you a story about that. All right. So my first 10 years in business, as you guys know, I made $58,380 total. That's what I made. All right. First 3 years, I made $0. Next 7 years, I made $695 a month. All right. I could have made more money working at fucking McDonald's for that 10 years. All right. Real talk. All right. I started making a little bit of money. I started figuring it out, right? I wrote Gary Vee a letter. Everybody knows Gary Vee. All right. I wrote him a letter and I said, hey, just so you know, I read your book. I made a lot of money. This is like 2013 or 14. I started making money. I said, I just want you to know, you probably think nobody listens to you, but this is what I've done with your information. He invites me to come to New York. So I fly up to New York. I meet him. We have dinner. And dinner was at like 9 or 10. It was really late. And I was thinking, like, this is like really late, but I guess it's New York. That's how they do things.
City never sleeps.
Yeah, right. So I go in. We're sitting down. We have a couple drinks. And, I think it was 9 o'clock we had the meeting. And at 10 o'clock, like it got close to 10, he goes, hey, man, I'm sorry, but I got some other meetings. And I'm like, it's 10 o'clock. He goes, yeah, I have one after you, and then I got 2 more. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I got a 10 o'clock, an 11 o'clock, and a 12 o'clock meeting. He's like, they're right there. And they were sitting over there at the fucking table. And I was like, holy shit. I think I'm working hard, and look at this guy. Okay. And seeing that one time taught me the lesson of what it takes. You cannot casually win at entrepreneurship. You cannot win half-ass. You cannot win without being all in. And you're going to hear all these people talk about balance and this and that and this. That doesn't apply to you as an entrepreneur. It just doesn't. All right. Your balance looks different. Their balance looks like, I wake up in the morning, I did this many hours of this, I get to this time, I get to go home, I'd be my family. That's what balance looks like for them. It's on a daily scale. Balance for an entrepreneur is over the course of your life. And by the way, it's not always a sure bet. But you're going to give a lot, let's say in your 20s, to live a life in your 40s that no one else can live. So when you look at balance over the scale of decades, that's how entrepreneurs get to look at balance. And it's not guaranteed. Okay. I'll give you an example. Kobe Bryant worked his whole life to become one of the best basketball players that ever lived. And when he got done at 40 years old, he said, now I'm going to start living. What happened?
Yeah.
He was killed in a helicopter crash. So there's no guarantee for entrepreneurs in anything. There's no guarantee you're going to win. There's no guarantee you're going to live this crazy life. There's no guarantee you're going to have balance. There's no guarantees. And it takes a special kind of person to have zero guarantees and still go after that dream. And this is, like I said, this is why I get so upset with the internet culture painting this rosy picture of what it's actually like. Yeah, dude. There's no guarantees, man. There's no safety net. There's nobody that bails you out. And if you fail, people don't care because they see a million failures a day. They got their own problems. So that's the reality, dude. It's very hard. And when you sign up for it, you're signing up for a different kind of life.
I love it, man. Love it, guys. Andy, question number 3. What's up, Andy? Andy, I recently started 75 Hard. The book I chose to read is The Magic of Thinking Big. In the end of chapter 1, there are 3 main points that are hit. 1, think success, don't think failure. 2, remind yourself you're better than you think you are. And 3, believe big. My question is, when going through the grind, having challenging days, or starting something new, how have you translated or overcome the negative thoughts? Thank you for the culture and energy you bring. Those dark days, man.
Hey, look.
That nobody has, right?
Yeah. Look, first of all, you are better than you think you are. Okay? We have this ability to look at everybody else and think they have some sort of secret or advantage or knowledge or skills that we don't have. If they do have knowledge and skills that we don't have, it's because they went out and got punched in the face and learned them. That's the reality. Or they made bigger investments in their personal development. So that's true. Now, going down this path of becoming successful, whether it's an entrepreneur, or anything else, an athlete, a musician, you're going to have negativity, all right? You're going to have negativity from a bunch of different places. You're going to have negativity from the outside sources, meaning other individuals. Maybe it's friends, maybe it's family, maybe it's strangers on the internet, okay? You're going to get negativity there. You're going to get negativity because the path to what you're trying to do is difficult. And because you don't understand how difficult it is, you are going to feel like the resistance that is natural for everybody is actually negative, when in reality, it's just the path, okay? That would be like me and you climbing a mountain and us saying, man, this sucks. This mountain hates us, when it's the mountain, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we have to understand the difference between negativity and our perception of negativity. Things being hard because they're hard is not a negative action towards you. It's not personal. It's just hard.
It's hard for everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what we have to remember is that when we perceive negativity or we have actual negativity, we have to figure out a way to leverage that to our favor. All right. So what do? We take the negativity, the doubt, the frustration, the fear, the anger, all of that. And the minute we start to feel it, we say, motherfucker, I'm winning. I don't care what that person says. I don't care what they think. My mind's lying to me. I am going to win. And so what you do is the minute you have a twinge of this negativity, whether it be actual negativity or whether it just be the perceived negativity that you have because the path is hard, you take that and you start to do something productive that is going to bring you closer to your goal. When most people feel negativity, what do? They quit, or they take a break, or they tell themselves, I need to chill for a minute, or I need to relax, or I need to unwind, or I need a drink. That's what the average person does, and that's why the average person loses. The winner, they take the negativity and they say, nah, motherfucker, I'm fucking winning. And they take that negativity the minute that they feel it, and they go out and do something that's going to move them closer to where they're trying to go. Maybe that's send some emails. Maybe that's read some books. Maybe that's getting off your ass and doing some exercise. Maybe it's a million different things. But the point is, you should take the negativity as a sign to take positive, productive action. And what I call this is a production pivot. All right. This means the minute that I start to feel like I don't want to do something that I know I need to do, I'm using that as the indicator, as the light bulb that goes off in my head that triggers me to move and do the thing that's going to move me closer to the goal. So now I want you to think about this. If the average person takes a break every time they feel this way, and you actually get better every time you feel this way, what's going to happen to the gap between you and them? It's going to get real fucking wide, real fucking fast. Okay? So if you want to win, you have to understand we are going to face negativity. You also have to understand that it is usable dark energy. There is a very strong place for wanting to prove people wrong. And all these idealistic people on the internet that keep saying, oh, I just want to make people proud of me and I want to prove people right. Who do you think is going to win more? The person who takes the negativity and takes a break and says, oh, you know what? I really just want to make my mom proud. Or the person who takes the negativity and says, I'm going to shove it down your fucking throat so hard that you never, ever doubt me ever again. Who's going to win that?
Yeah.
The second guy is going to win because just listen to how I'm saying it. Listen to how you feel when you say it. Say it yourself. I'm going to go do some good things to make my family proud, or I am going to shove it. Dude, the energy to even say it is completely different, okay? And it's way more powerful to want to make people eat their words. And I know a lot of people, they argue about that, but you take the greatest winners of all time, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the best business people of all time. They all have that dark side energy, bro. And when you doubt them, they will fucking step on your face with their results. Okay. So no, for real.
Yeah, that's real shit.
Yeah.
Man.
So I love when the worst thing someone can give me, if you're competing with me, is something to prove. If you can figure out a way to get me angry and to get something to prove, I will fucking crush you, because that's how I operate. I operate on that energy. And, I think it's one of the most powerful, underrated energies because nobody wants to talk about it.
It's unlimited, man.
It is unlimited because you face unlimited negativity. Think of all the positive reinforcement that you have, and then think of all the negative reinforcement. Which one do you have more of? Every single person has more negative than positive because of the standards of mediocrity that our society lives in. All right. So if we don't know how to use the majority of the energy, we're at an automatic disadvantage over everybody else. So it is perfectly okay to utilize that dark energy to get pissed off. And you should train your brain that when you feel it, it makes you go out and do something. Not sit there and be bitter, not sit there and be angry, not sit there and blame the world. Not, I need a break, or I need a drink, or I need a this. No, you need to get off your ass and you need to go do something that's going to move you closer to where you want to go. That is the ultimate competitive advantage, because negativity freezes most people into inaction. All right. And you are competing with those people. A lot of, I'm only competing with myself. Bullshit, bro. This is a game and you're playing it and you're in it. There are other teams on the field. There are other companies. There are other individuals. There are other businesses. Even if you're an entrepreneur, there's people in your business that want to take your fucking role. Okay. This is a competition. And should you compete with yourself? Yes. But we also have to recognize that there is real competition out there. And if you're going to be a great competitor, you're going to have to take the negativity and figure out a way to make yourself better, because that's the energy that we have the most of.
I feel like this is also like just simple, pure motivation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people, they sit and wait for the feel good, crowd cheering motivation.
They wait for permission.
Yeah, you go do it. You can do it.
They
now.
wait for permission.
Yeah.
They think that there is a quote unquote club that invites them in and says, hey, you know what, man? I really believe that you could be a part of this club. All right. There is no club like that. Nobody says that. Nobody comes along and gives you permission, bro. You have to not just get a seat at the table. You got to build your own fucking chair and pull it up to the table. That's the reality. No one's getting out of their chair to offer you a chair. You got to build your own and put it at the table. And that's what the fuck it's about. Okay. So none of these people that you think exist that are here to certify your qualifications to become great, that never happens. I used to think the same thing when I was young, dude. I thought, man, I really wish I could get some of these guys to like want to have dinner with me or want to have, help me or want to approve of me, even if they had just said, hey, man, I think you got what it takes, which never happened. It never happened. So you know what I had to do? I had to make myself into someone that knew that I had what it takes. And you know how I did that? I did that by proving to myself over and over and over and over and over again that even in the hardest times, I can move forward. When other people flake and other people crumble, I am still moving forward. Okay? And that's the resilience. That's the toughness. That's the grit. That's the fortitude that you have to build yourself into as a character of your humanity. All right? So this is why Live Hard is such a real program. It will build you into this kind of person. And that's it, dude. Like, you have to be able to use what's given to you. And we are unfortunately given way more negative than we are positive. So how are you going to use it? Are you going to use it by letting it, getting shy and sitting in the basement and, saying, man, I'm not ready to play this game? Or are you going to use it like, hey, fuck you. I deserve this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove you wrong. And then in 5-10 years, you're going to walk in the room and all those people that doubted you, all those people that said negative shit to you, all those people that made jokes to you, all those people that rolled their eyes at you, they're all going to tell you how proud they are. I always believed in you. Yeah, motherfucker. I remember, and you'll remember too, every single person that ever said negative things to me. I remember all of them, and I remember the exact moment when they came back around and they said, oh, I'm so proud of you. And you know what's funny? By the time they come back around and say they're proud of you, you don't even need the validation anymore because you already know. You already know. I don't give a fuck if you believed me back in the day, and I remember that you didn't. But I'm glad I made a believer out of you, but I don't need your belief anymore because I believe. And that's the most powerful thing that you can have, your own belief in yourself, proving yourself right, proving that you do have what it takes, and nobody can take that from you once you've built that. No one can come to me and say to me, you're a fucking loser, or you don't know what you're doing in business. Now, people might come to me and say, hey, you got a big mouth, you say some dumb shit sometimes. I'm going to say, okay, that's fair. But if you came to me and you said, you're a shitty business guy, you're bad at this, you're bad at that, and all that, I'd fucking laugh in their face. I'm like, all right, well, let's see your shit, bitch. You see what I'm saying? So right. This is about ourselves, believing in ourselves and creating belief in ourselves by taking the negativity and allowing it to push us down the path that we are trying to go. And if you could figure out how to do that via the production pivot, you're going to win because everybody else is going to crumble when times get hard and you're going to go faster.
I fucking love it, man. Guys, Andy, that was 3. That's a hell of a way to start the week.
Yeah, guys, let's go out and win. And remember, you guys keep messaging. How can we support? You could support by buying these drinks at your grocery stores and gas stations. Meat sticks, protein bars, energy drinks. Go hit them up. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.